hapon mga ka-webinar. Nandito na naman tayo para sa ating Nutrition and Health Webinar Series. Today is episode 20 and as promised, today is going to be a treat dahil pag-uusapan natin ang isang topic na maaaring mahalaga sa nakararami pero hindi sa iba. This webinar series is brought to you as a community service by Pharmacia Jimenez with today's sponsors, Cell Life Cellular Nutrition, Oranim Thera Mouthwash, and Oranim Thera Mouth Spray. Ako si Grace, your moderator for the rest of the hour. Ang COVID-19 pandemic ay nagdulot ng maraming pagbabago sa ating lifestyle. Kasama dito ang social distancing, ang pagsuot ng face mask at face shield sa lahat ng oras kapag tayo ay nasa labas. The new normal has changed how we look. Dahil covered na ang ating mga face, both for men and women, importante pa rin ba ang pagpapaganda katulad ng dati? Hashtag Beauty Secrets No More. Samahan nyo kami ngayong afternoon na to as we unveil the secrets of staying beautiful inside and outside of a woman who has taken hold of beauty from ashes changed by the Lord. She graduated with a degree in Bachelor of Communication Arts, major in journalism, cum laude from Bicol University, and earned her master's degree in community development from the University of the Philippines in Dalaman. By profession, she works in the entertainment industry as a freelance events and TV host, and she is also an active member of Christ Commission Fellowship, where she mentors young women through discipleship, and is currently the ambassadress of Hashtag Not Alone, a youth program under an organization called Elevate Movement, where her fourth runner-up title in the Miss Universe 2010 competition is being maximized as she shares her experience, learning, and how the Lord changed her life. Mga ka-webinar, we are so blessed to have her here, Miss Maria Venus Ra.
Hey, Miss Grace. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Miss Venus. Shall I call you Miss Venus or shall I call you Miss Universe Fortrunner 2010? We are so grateful to have you here this afternoon. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Such a delight. Always a delight to talk to you and to serve with you. And I think this is also an opportunity for me to, just share whatever it is that's in my heart this afternoon.
Salamat, Miss Venus. So, bago tayo mag-umpisa sa mga nanonood sa atin ngayon via Facebook Live, you can please ask your question. Feel free to chat and make your comment. At ang ating pong resource speaker, she is ready and more than willing to answer yung mga katanungan nyo po tungkol sa ating topic this afternoon. Sa mga magtatanong po, please make sure lang po na umabot sa atin because we only have an hour, so you can, as early as now, prepare your questions as Miss Venus prepares also her presentation. So, wag na natin pong patagalin, Miss Venus. Being a beauty queen, and we know that parang ang bilis ng panahon, it has been 10 years already. Akala natin very recently lang. Pero makikita naman natin the way you have evolved and at the same time, the way you have maintained, ganun pa rin yung nakikita namin sa'yo. Parang hindi nga 10 years ago pa yon. As a beauty queen, would you like to, well, that's actually what you're gonna do, no? We would love to hear from you how you actually were able to maintain that beautiful look of yours. At of course, ano pa yung ibang sikreto mo na para manatiling ganyan ka rin pa kaganda at malaman din ng mga nakikinig natin para sila rin, pwede rin nilang i-follow yung ginagawa mo, Miss Venus.
Oh, wow. Well, I think first off, it's the genes. Bilang, later on, I'm going to be sharing my story. Pero siguro, since 10 years ago, I won Miss Universe Fourth Runner-Up, and then, yun nga, ang dami nagsasabi na parang, okay, we never thought that it's already 10 years ago that you won the Miss Universe Fourth Runner-Up. But parang ganun, but parang, parang kagaya pa rin ng dati.
Yeah.
I think, the idea that you still have to take care of yourself, not because you are competing in a competition or in a Miss Universe pageant, but the idea that you have to take care of yourself because it is your responsibility to actually take care of yourself. And there's an underlying I think for me, responsibility also to the one who made me, na parang hindi ko papabayaan yung sarili ko dahil just because hindi na ako magko-compete sa isang competition, wala na lang. So I also have realized many things along the way, along the journey, na parang one of which is I am accountable of everything that I do, especially in taking care of my body, of myself, and also ano ba talaga yung tamang perspective when it comes to beauty? Lahat lang ba yan physical? Sa physical appearance lang ba natin yan makikita? Kung lahat physical lang yan, hindi natin ma-maintain yan. Because the reality is we're growing old, and just like a flower, one day that beautiful flower will wither. But then if the beauty is actually coming from within, no matter how old we get or whatever age we reach, ganon pa rin yung beauty na makikita ng tao, because it's not the superficial that they see. So I really want to talk more about that in this conversation, Miss Grace.
Sure. Agreeing with you, no, Miss Venus, sabi mo nga, hindi enough lang yung physical beauty. It should really come from within. So, hindi na kami makapaghintay. Ano ba talaga yung mga secrets that you need to unveil or i-share so that hindi na siya secrets after this episode, Miss
Yeah.
Venus?
Yeah. So, it's not going to be a secret anymore. I would love to.
Beauty secrets no more.
Beauty secrets no more. I would love to share my screen, Miss Grace, if you don't mind me doing
Sure.
that. But one of I think the things that I want to share with all of us this afternoon is also the story that I have behind this beautiful face that you guys see. Parang pag sinasabi ko yan, parang ang kapal mo naman, Venus, para sabihin yan. Pero I also have a reason why I said that. It's because again, later on, I'm going to be talking more about that. But maybe to start off, I just want to share, during my younger years, I really had a different view of what beauty is or what a beautiful woman looks like. To me, at that time, a beautiful woman should have, lighter skin tone, black long hair, slim, tall, and she should have a collection of nice beautiful dresses. Parang ganon. Yung mga napapanood ko dati sa mga fairy tale, parang ganyan ang idea ko of what or standard ko of what beauty should look like. But then that gave so much problem in my heart, because dahil hindi nga ako ganon at hindi naman at malayo ako sa pagiging ganon, that created so much vacuum in my heart. And one of the things that it actually created is insecurity. And I was very insecure of how I look. I was very insecure of my skin tone, kasi I was really thin. If I may show you a picture of how I look, this I was in high school. This photo that I'm standing up, I was in high school, and the other photo I was in elementary. And so ganyan yung itsura ko. Talagang tall, dark, and Ganon, na parang at that time, my classmates would even call me names. And the names that they would call me usually would be Kalansay, Kapre, giraffe, dahil napakahaba daw ng aking lieg. And at that time, Miss Grace, to be honest, I don't know how to respond to those things. I don't know how to deal with those things. But what I do, I would just, run to my mom and cry to my mom every time that I would experience such bullying. And aside from my insecurities when it comes to my physical appearance, one of my insecurities as well was our status in life. So this is a photo of our house, one of the houses that we had before. Kasi the reason why I said one of the houses is because we transfer from one place to another. Because we don't own a land. We are tenants of the farm that we are farming. Pag bumabagyo sa amin, Miss Grace, and now my heart is just so broken to hear, the things that happened in Bicol. And I truly understand ano yung experience ng isang family when they are ravaged by the typhoon, because at that time our house is also made of light materials, and that was one of my insecurities, na parang mahirap kasi kami magsasaka lang kasi kami wala kaming kagaya nung mga the physical things that my classmates had at that time. And I felt like the reason why they're bullying me is because medyo nakakaangat-angat sila sa buhay samantalang kami hindi. Another thing, another insecurity that I had at that time was I don't have a complete happy family. And the way I look at family was, dapat ang isang kompletong pamilya is composed of a mom, of a dad, of children. And yet, because I didn't get to meet my biological father, even up to now naman, hindi ko talaga kilala yung biological father ko. That created so much insecurity in my heart, and that created so much vacuum. And I felt like, bakit sila ganon? Ba't sila okay? Bakit sila parang maayos yung pamilya? Bakit kami ganito? So those are the things that really created such, vacuum in my heart. And growing up, I felt like my status in life, my physicality, the beauty, so-called beauty that I had was never enough. So when I transitioned to my teenage years, I started seeking affirmation and validation from people. I thought, if I would have a boyfriend, if I would have a relationship, I would be wanted. I would look wanted. That would validate me. That would affirm me. And I thought that it would also fill in the void that was in my heart, the longing to have a father. But at an early age of 16, I started to have a relationship. Pero alam mo yon, batang-bata ka, tapos hindi mo alam kung ano yung pinapasok mo. That only crushed my heart and all the expectations that I had when it comes to relationship. It also proved me that validation and affirmation, the validation and the affirmation that I was getting from that relationship was actually fleeting and temporary. And it did not satisfy the vacuum that I had in my heart. Instead, that magnified all the insecurities that I had at that time. So, come college, ayan na, nagsimula na akong I felt like, okay, college na ako, matanda na ako, maybe, I can navigate my own life. I was navigating relationship and studies at the same time because I wanted to prove that kaya namang mag-excel in studies kahit nasa relationship ka. But that's not true. So some of the young people who are watching us right now, guys, hindi totoo na parang our focus sa pag-aaral talagang madide-focus tayo when we are in a relationship. So yeah, I graduated with flying colors. I had accolades even after my studies in college, but those things did not also fill in the void that I had in my heart. And so finally, I felt like, the culminating of everything, na parang, eto na yung tugatog ng tagumpay. Ito na yung, this is what I've been waiting for. Eventually, I got to compete in Binibining Pilipinas, won Binibining Pilipinas Universe, and then eventually competed in Miss Universe, and won Miss Universe 4th runner-up. But then, even at that time, there were still insecurities in my heart. My insecurities about beauty, it grew deeper and deeper. And I thought, that my beauty isn't enough and that I had to do more to be appreciated. And all the efforts that I had was never enough. So that was my battle when it comes to insecurities, when it comes to beauty, when it comes to how I look at beauty before. Maybe to summarize this part of this conversation, I would say that, people's validation, relationships, accolades, achievements, they were not the answer to the deep longings of my heart. And I had so much insecurities, and those things that I had in the past never filled or fulfilled the things that my heart was actually craving for. The perspective of beauty drastically changed when I came to know the real author of beauty and the maker of all things that are beautiful. So if I may share, the things that I have learned all throughout this journey, when I came to know the Lord Jesus, it was a time that I realized that, God can actually change something so filthy into something that is so beautiful. And as you've mentioned a while ago, that, this is a beauty from ashes. That's so true. The position that I have right now, the beauty that I have right now, and even from the beginning is actually not mine, but I felt like I was too damaged. I was too crushed to be treasured again. But then the Lord can transform something so filthy into something that is so beautiful. Along the journey, I saw how beautiful, how magnificent, how marvelous God is. Not that, He revealed Himself to me in my naked eyes, but His magnificence is just so revealed in my heart, and my brain can't actually comprehend all the majesty that the Lord is revealing in me. And upon studying His Word, I saw how He looks at me. He looks at me not the way I look at myself. Sometimes I have the tendency to look down at myself, and with all the insecurities that I had in my life, God looks at me and He values me because He created me in His own image. And that is just so beautiful and liberating to know. I know that He knitted me at the womb of my mother, and He loves me even before the day that I was born, and that He plans my life, and even up to now, He has a great plan for my life. So, doon ko nakita na parang, ang liit pala ng tingin ko sa sarili ko, pero ang laki pala ng tingin ng Panginoon ko sa akin. And if you look at the secret of beauty, I would say that this is it. This is actually the secret of being beautiful, to realize that you are beautiful not because of your physicality, but because of the one who made you. Because if the one who made you is actually beautiful, He can all the more create something that is so profound, so beautiful, so treasured. And you and I, Miss Grace, is just one of the magnificent creations of the Lord in this world. And so how do I look at beauty now? Today, I have a very different view of beauty. Today, I value character. I value the person, not just, the physical appearance. Because I know that every individual that I encounter is also created in the image of the one who also created me. It doesn't mean, though, that we will not take care of our appearance anymore. It doesn't mean that we will not do proper hygiene. It doesn't mean that papabayaan na lang natin yung sarili natin kasi isipin natin, ay, importante naman pala kay God yung character, edi hindi ko na lang ayusin yung itsura ko. That's not true, because our physical appearance is also a reflection of how we value the one who made us and how we value the thing that is also inside us. So kung sasabihin natin na hindi ko na lang aayusin yung physicality ko or yung physical appearance ko just because character is important or more important, I don't think it's the proper perspective, or I don't think we are actually getting it, because valuing our physical appearance is also important to our Maker. As I mentioned a while ago, in my life, I know that He doesn't see me superficially, but He looks at me with value because He created me in His own image. And that's just a reassuring thing to have, that I also hold on to up to now. There's actually a difference between taking care of yourself and being vain, or taking care of yourself and vanity. The former is the proper response to the one who actually entrusted this beauty to us, but the latter is worshiping what needs not to be worshipped. So there's a huge difference between the two. I wrote here, beauty is never meant to be worshipped, but it should point us to the author of it. We must worship the creator, never the created. So in this journey, I learned a lot of things, and I know that the beauty that we have is just a stopping point, so that we will look at the destination. This is not the destination. The destination is to look at our Maker and see how beautiful He is, because we are the reflection of it. Just to end this sharing, Ms. Grace, I know you also have some questions, and our viewers also have their questions. If you're familiar with this photo, this is Venus, the goddess of beauty in Roman mythology. And I know that I am named Venus, and I am in the beauty pageant industry, or in the beauty industry, but in my heart, I know that I don't want to be worshipped. If Venus, the Roman goddess of beauty, or fertility, or victory, or love, was worshipped by the Romans before, I don't want to be worshipped as a goddess, just like how she was worshipped by people before. But I want the beauty that I have, that has been gifted to me by the Lord, to be the reflection of the beauty of the one who made me. And that is the great painter of beauty, our God. Yes, we have the tendency to worship the created, but I hope that we will focus on the creator more than the created things. So basically, Ms. Grace, what I'm trying to say here is character is very important, and that is the secret to being beautiful, to maintaining the beauty that you have, because regardless of your physicality, your beauty from within is actually what allows you to shine your heart to people. And I'm also not saying that we should not take care of our physicality, because taking care of our physical appearance is also very much important. So I'll stop sharing my screen now. And if you have some clarifications, if you have some questions, feel free. I would love to know your questions as well. I think you're on mute, Ms. Grace. There, I can hear you now. Oh, but you're again on mute.
Who's muting me yan?
There you go. Perfect.
Yeah. Okay. Again, I said that was such a very wonderful personal, I think, testimony of yours. not a lot of people, hindi maraming na nanonood sa atin ngayon ang alam the story behind that beautiful face, ano. So finally, um, we are so, sabi ko nga, blessed that you are able to make it today despite the fact na meron kang commitment dun sa iyong hometown sa Bicol. So, alam naman natin kung anong nangyari, no, over
Yeah.
the weekend, and Miss Venus is actually, in fact, pupunta siya dun sa Bicol para magkaroon ng what do you call this one?
Relief
Aside from
operation.
relief operation dun sa kanyang mga kababayan sa Bicol. Pero wag na natin patagalin, Miss Venus. Nabanggit mo muna kanina, no? Ulitin ko lang dun sa mga nanonood. Nabanggit ni Miss Venus. So, importante pa rin kasi dun sa introduction natin, Miss Venus, we mentioned about naka-face mask na tayo. Hygiene is very
Mm-hmm.
important. Merong social distancing. There's also face wearing of face shield para protected. So, you personally, you mentioned na sabi mo nga, it's really important to also take care of yourself, no? Hindi lang dahil naka-shield tayo ngayon. So, bago ko puntahan yung mga questions natin from the live viewers, ako muna personally magtatanong sa'yo, di ba?
Sure.
I would always tell Miss Venus na um, ang ganda-ganda niya, and she's such a beautiful woman inside and out. Very true naman yun. For somebody like me na kilala siya personally. Pero pagdating dun sa physical aspect,
Mm.
how do you actually manage to, like, you have so small, I mean, yung frame mo for a height like yours, which is 5'8", I think, ano,
Yeah.
pero your weight is so maintained. Meron ka bang iba pang what's this one, secret na hindi pa kinukuwento sa amin? Or like you mentioned, kailangan pa rin alagaan. So,
Yeah.
meron ba, Miss Venus?
Yes, Miss Grace. For the information of those who are watching us, I try as much as possible to eat healthy diet. Um, I don't drink soda. Actually,
Mhm.
hindi ko siya mainom. Parang ang sakit sa lalamunan. Tapos sumasakit yung sikmura ko. Also, I don't eat, siguro kung may junk food man or kung meron man akong susubukan once a month or once every 3 months ko lang masusubukan yung junk food na ganyan. Also, yan, yung mga processed food, hindi rin ako masyadong mahilig doon, Miss Grace. As much as possible, I cook my own food. Kasi alam ko kung anong nilalagay ko sa pagkain ko. Pero pag iba kasi yung processed food, medyo mahirap pag yun ang lagi nating kinakain. Also, exercise. I do exercise, Miss Grace. May mga sugat-sugat na nga yung aking kamay,
Boxing.
kakaboxing ko.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know you're also very athletic and I salute you for being that. And life goals ka. Ikaw yung when I turn your age, I would also love to have that kind of body, you know? Another
Miss
thing,
Venus, this is not about me. This is about you, okay? About
I just want to appreciate that because it's actually
you.
evident. Another thing is I try as much as possible to supplement whatever the food that I eat. If I have supplements, I drink supplements. Vitamin C is very important. I even tried your spirulina. It's really nice. So I also tried those kinds of supplements kasi sometimes hindi naman talaga nakokompleto yung nutrients na kailangan natin on a daily basis. And to me, having those kinds of supplements is also very important. So yeah, those are the things that I do. Definitely, you take a bath, you brush your teeth, you
Yeah.
gargle,
Yeah,
you rinse your mouth. Pero yon, I think taking responsibility of your physical health is very much important.
Sure. Thank you, Miss Venus, for giving us additional tips para mas lalo pa namin ma-maintain yung aming beauty just like yours, no? In fact, si Miss Venus, kung babanggitin ko lang, she eats like a bird. So every time we get to meet and have something together, hindi ako maka-order ng marami kasi she eats like a bird. Literally, sobrang konti niya kumain. So sabi ko sa kanya, dahil konti ka kumain and you're not sure that you're getting all the important nutrients, mag-cell life ka. So tinry ni Miss Venus, sabi naman niya, she was sharing to me, looks like okay naman sa kanya. So thank
Yeah,
you, Miss Venus, for trying our cell life. And
very
on top of
happy.
the cell life, I also asked Miss Venus to try our own Oranim Terra mouthwash. Pero mas favorite ko yung spray kasi very handy. She can bring it anywhere. Okay, thank you, Miss Venus. Para dun sa mga live questions natin, ito, si Mr. Gilbert is your kababayan. Hi, Miss Venus. I am Gilbert Tanay. I'm also from Bato, Camarines Sur.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
Oo.
Great.
Taga Farmacia Jimenez siya, Miss Venus, actually, sa team SGT. Sabi niya, because of the pandemic and natural disasters that we encountered this year, mental health problem is one of the rising cases not just in the Philippines but worldwide. And once nagkakaroon tayo ng problem sa mental health, affected din po ang pag-aalaga natin sa ating sarili and even our spiritual life. What advice can you give to those who are suffering great loss because of all this, especially for the people listening from Bicol?
Gilbert, it is.
Bicolano siya. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for just saying these things. Thank you for just asking this question. I think this is a very important question that everyone should be asking. And I totally agree with you that because of the pandemic, because of what's happening right now, even because of the typhoon that's happening now or that happened in Bicol, this can actually create so much when it comes to our mental health. Um, Ako, Gilbert, what I would always share to people when it comes to taking care of your mental health is um, uh, treat it, treat your mental health the way you treat your physical health, because, or the way you treat your spiritual health. Parang, uh, kasi in the Philippines, parang hindi tayo masyadong aware that we should also take care of our mental health the way we should take care of our physical health and our spiritual health. So sometimes we reach a point of in denial na parang okay naman ako, hindi ko naman kailangan mag-open up sa tao, hindi ko naman kailangan sabihin sa mga tao yung pinagdadaanan ko. I totally disagree with that. If people are going through tough times, especially because of the pandemic or because of cabin fever or because of the typhoon just happened in our province, please share your thoughts to people. Don't think na parang kaya ko na to mag-isa, ako na lang to, sarilinin ko na lang to. Alam mo, pag ginawa natin yon, before you know it, you're already very much burdened of a lot of things. And when you are so burdened of a lot of things, parang ikaw mismo, yun nga, sabi mo, pati physical health affected. Totoo yun. Sometimes, ni pagligo, ni pagkain, parang hindi mo na magawa because you are very much affected when it comes to the mental health that we are having. So, sa akin, Gilbert, I think one of the things that we can do is to share to people whatever it is that we're going through. Make sure that you trust the person that you're sharing with. I hope we can avoid the idea na I have to be alone because when I'm alone, I am better off alone and ayoko nang istorbohin yung mga tao sa paligid ko. That's, I think, is not a good strategy because if you do that, ang mangyayari, you will really fall into that downward spiral of self-pity, being alone, and feeling that no one cares. Thirdly, I hope that with all the things that are happening in our lives, we will really call unto the Lord. Yun nga, we mentioned a while ago that our mental health is important, that our physical health is important. As these two things are important, our spiritual health is also very much important. So Gilbert, may mga nakita rin akong photos sa Bicol ngayon na parang they lost loved ones, may mga namatay and everything. And my heart is just so crushed. Syempre sa atin, alam mo naman, Gilbert, pag ganito na bumagyo, ang una nating iisipin, anong kakainin bukas? Paano ko ibabalik yung bahay ko na makatayo ulit siya? These are things that are important. Kailangan natin we have to admit that there are things that are beyond our control, and the pandemic is definitely beyond our control. The disaster that just happened is beyond our control. But I think to trust in the Lord is also within our control. So trust in the Lord in whatever things that you're going through. But when it comes to your mental health, I hope that you have someone that you can actually talk to, that you can share whatever it is that's in your heart and process things with someone. And I hope that you will realize that you are not alone in the things that you are going through, and that these things will also pass, and that one day we will also be okay. There is still hope. That's for sure. Thanks, Gilbert, for just asking this question.
Thank you, Miss Venus. Very timely yung question sa'yo ni Gilbert, ano, kasi being your kababayan, na you are also part of the hashtag you're not alone na ministry ng ating church, ano. Si Miss Roma Generalao, siya yung ating ka-meeting yesterday. Sabi niya, "Hi, Miss Pretty Venus, how did you battle your self-worth for being the standard of beauty na dapat maputi, 'di ba? Sabi mo kanina, you were saying. So, 'di ba yung standard ng beautiful dito sa Pilipinas, kailangan, or sa Asian countries, kailangan maputi. So, paano mo napagtagumpayan?
Paano ko natanggap na ito na talaga yung itsura ko? Roma, thanks for asking the question. I think it's many young people, especially women, are, they have the same question as yours. I remember, Roma, I was competing in this local pageant in my province. And in this pageant, ganun talaga, parang ang stereotype ay pag maputi ka, maganda ka, panalo ka sa competition. And at that time, many of the contenders were, beautiful, tall, and, they have light skin tone, which to me is also beautiful. I'm not saying that when you're light skin tone, hindi ka maganda. That's not what I'm trying to say. But at that time, Roma, so when I competed in this pageant, lahat halos ng mga kasama ko or kalaban ko, mapuputi sila. Tapos tuwang-tuwa talaga ako na parang at that time, I think that was the turning point of me embracing my color and actually celebrating my roots and accepting na ganito na talaga yung itsura ko. At that moment, I remember my makeup artist, instead of putting foundation or yung mga pampaputing whatever sa skin, ang nilagay niya, parang, I don't know if it's parang tanning oil lotion. Parang ganyan. So, tanning oil, not lotion. And then, so yun lang. Parang ganun lang yung nilagay niya. So, ang itsura, parang medyo nag-glow lang yung skin ko, pero walang anything na nakalapat doon. In that was the only pageant in Bicol that I won the title. That was the only pageant in Bicol that I won the title. And so, yun parang at that time, I embraced na tuwang-tuwa na ako pagka nagko-compete ako, and then, ganito yung skin tone ko in the Philippines. But it's another story when I came to another country, because I saw the diversity of beauty. I saw that, parang mas maraming mas matatangkad, mas maraming mas magaganda, ganon. But then, I think the second turning point, Roma, was when I came to know my maker. Doon ko talaga na-appreciate na there is no mistake and how he made me. And he made me exactly the way he wanted me to be. So my skin color is not an accident. My nose, my eyes, my lips, my face, my body figure is not an accident, because this is exactly how he wants me to look.
Well said. Napakaganda ng sagot ni Miss Venus dun sa mga nakikinig sa atin. I'm sure nag-agree kayo sa akin that Miss Venus actually was able to hit it right there. Bullseye, no? Wala sa color yan, Miss Venus, ano? Kasi ako hindi rin ako maputi at hindi rin ako nagpapaputi. Anyway, so yung next question natin from our live viewers. By the way, Miss Venus, I remember this, there was this, I think one of your interviews na sinabi mo ata, I think you mentioned na hindi naman natatapos yung yun dun sa, I think dun sa beauty contest, dun sa beauty pageant, hindi natatapos doon, diba? You were saying something like that to me. You were sharing it to me.
Yeah. The idea of trying to look beautiful. You're not just doing it because you are about to compete in a beauty pageant. And even the opportunities, even yung parang my self-worth is not attached in that competition. Na again, hindi dahil nag-Miss Universe fourth runner-up ako, doon naka-attach yung aking identity as a person. And now that, it's been 10 years since I competed in Miss Universe beauty pageant, I know that my self-worth is still intact. And I know that my identity is still intact, because the pageant is not my identity and my self-worth is not coming from that beauty pageant.
Right. Agree. So, yung sinabi ni Miss Venus para dun sa mga nag-aspiring beauty queens dyan na nanonood, you know the secret now. So, secret no more siya. So, coming from Miss Jessa de los Santos, good afternoon, Miss Venus Ra. I am Jessa de los Santos and my family is watching from Parañaque City. Question.
Wow.
What sort of things affect and so I'm sorry, ang question niya, what sort of things affect our perception of beauty? What causes us to think that a certain thing is beautiful?
Mm. What's her name again, Miss Grace?
Jessa.
Miss Jessa, yeah. What causes us to think that something is beautiful? Pang beauty pageant ba to, Jessa? Joke lang. I think, Jessa, we have an innate appreciation of what is beautiful. Even before we are exposed to the beauty of this world, that intrinsic appreciation of what beauty is already within our hearts, because the one who made us actually placed that in our hearts to appreciate what beauty is. But the problem comes when we allow the world to dictate us of what the standard of beauty is. Ang nangyayari when we allow the people around us, when we allow the world to dictate to us what the standard of beauty should be, ang nangyayari, nasisira kung ano man yung innate beauty appreciation that is in our hearts. Kasi ang tinitingnan na natin, ang maganda kasi sabi ng mga billboards, for example, na napapanood ko, dapat ang katawan mo ay ganito ang korte. So, pag hindi ganun ang korte ng katawan mo, you will feel like, I'm not the standard of beauty because I don't look like that. Or, for example, when we see that, beautiful hair should be blonde, for example, or beautiful hair should be long, for example, and we don't have a long hair, we don't have that color of hair, we feel like hindi maganda yung buhok ko kasi hindi siya kagaya ng standard na siniset ng mundo para sa atin. The innate appreciation of beauty is there because God Himself placed it there so that we will be able to appreciate His creations. If you look at the sunset, that's a beautiful display of God's creation. If you look at the sunrise, that's such a beautiful display of God's creation. You look at the seas, you look at the forests, you look at a flower, you look at the eye of the person beside you, and just look at the design of the eyes of that person. That is so beautiful. And all of us have that innate capacity to appreciate beauty. Pero ang nangyayari, nasisira yon dahil hinahayaan natin na ang mundo ang magdikta sa atin na kung ano ang totoong kagandahan. Pero wag nating hahayaan na ganon. Dahil pag hinayaan natin na ganon, masisira yung nasa puso natin na nilagay ng Panginoon doon. And we will not have the satisfaction of appreciating what beauty actually is. I hope that we will go back to the designer of beauty and that we will really see na siya ang gumawa nito at siya rin ang may kakayahang magpakita sa atin ng kung ano talaga yung totoong kagandahan. I hope that answer your question, Jessa.
I'm sure, Miss Venus, nasagot mo, no? Kasi ako, hearing that from you, marami rin akong friends na naririnig, masyado silang conscious how people would actually react dun sa kanilang itsura, how they look, how they talk, diba, no? So, hearing it from you, from somebody like you, who has proven already na after 10 years can still have that same beautiful face, it's really because of that inner beauty that you have inside. So, more than the physical beauty, I think we should really take care of our inner beauty. So, Miss Jessa, I'm sure narinig mo yan, fresh from Miss Venus. So, nasagot, I'm sure, yung iyong tanong. Paano po ba ma-overcome yung pangbubuli? Sino ang ating nagtanong ng question na ito? Kasi naranasan mo, Miss Venus, yung nabubuli ka when you were in grade school, ano, and in high school back then. So, paano mo na-handle yung pangbubuli sa'yo?
Yeah, I think two things. For those who have experienced to be bullied and those who were the bullies when they were younger, or probably they were in their elementary or high school years. Two things. When it comes to the bullies, ang lagi kong sinasabi sa mga kabataan, there is actually a reason why that person is acting in that way. And most of them are probably hurt. Most of them are probably abused emotionally, spiritually, physically, verbally. So, we can never judge a person. Kahit na sabihin mo na, naku, ang sama-sama ng ugali nito kasi nambubuli to ng tao. We have to understand that that person might be coming from a difficult situation also. Mostly, if they came from an abusive family. Kaya ganun din yung response nila sa ibang tao. Another thing is, even if they try to put up a mask that they are strong, the reality is they could probably also be crushed inside. Kaya parang their defense mechanism is to bully others so that they would be perceived as someone who is strong. To those people who are in that spectrum, I just want to tell you guys that there is a way on how you can recuperate with everything that has happened to you in the past. And bullying is not a good way to do it. Let's be careful with our words. Let's be careful with the way we treat other people because words can actually crush down people. To those who were bullied in the past, kasama na ako doon, alam nyo yung pakiramdam na parang hindi naman na masakit yung mga naaalala mong bagay na sinabi sa'yo noon. But you still remember those things. You remember the exact words that they thrown at you. And although wala nang sting, and I know that I have forgiven the people who, did that before. Since mga bata naman kami, feeling ko, alam mo yon, mga asarang bata lang yon. But then, words can actually build up or tear down someone. If you have been bullied in the past, please know that there is still someone who actually values you more than the people who actually said those negative words to you. Your confidence can still be redeemed because it is not the people around you who dictate your identity and who should you really be. Kasi if hahayaan natin na sila yung magdikta kung sino tayo dapat, wala. Kung ano yung sasabihin nila, papaniwalaan natin. Pag sinabi sa yung pangit, maniniwala kang pangit ka. Pag sinabi sa yung negra, kalansay, kapre, maniniwala ka. Kasi yun ang sinasabi nila sa'yo. But if your identity is actually anchored in the one who made you, you will see, kahit anong itawag nila sa akin, kahit anong sabihin nila sa akin, kilala ko kung sino ako. Kasi alam ko kung sinong may gawa sa akin. So it would always go back to identity. It would always go back to your value, the core value of your heart, and that should be anchored in the one who made you. Hindi ako mapapagod ulit-ulitin to. Kasi at the end of the day, the antidote to insecurity is knowing your identity in Christ. You're on mute, Miss Grace. There. Oopsie. You're still on mute.
Kindly unmute me. Thank you, Mr. Rene, for unmuting me. Sabi niya, hi, Miss Venus. What are the basic steps to build self-confidence? So, hinatch na ni Miss Venus yung sabi nga niya, I think I agree also with her na yung knowing your identity is, I think, the most important thing. But yes, Miss Venus, yung question na how do you build your confidence?
Yeah. It's a process. It's definitely a process. Some people can't stand up in front of a crowd. There must be a reason why. So it's important that you trace the reason why you can't do something. For example, I can't sing. I don't have the confidence to sing in front of a crowd. Either naiiwan ako ng accompaniment, naiiwan ako ng music, or nauuna ako sa music. And if I trace back, why do I act this way? Bakit ganito yung pakiramdam ko pag kumakanta ko? I don't have the confidence to actually do it. If I trace back, I remember I was in grade 4 or grade 5 when I was in elementary. Kinontest ako sa singing, parang kundiman singing contest in my province. Tapos habang kumakanta kami, parang before I was really nervous. I was in front of a crowd. Judges were in front of me. And then while I was waiting for my gitarista to start, para mag-start na rin ako, ang tagal hindi siya nagsa-start. Yun pala, naputol yung string ng guitar niya. And yung mga ibang gitarista, tinutulungan na siya and everything. So I felt like I was left in front of the stage. And then parang tumugtog siya, pero parang hindi familiar sa ears ko yung tinutugtog niya. So I started singing, end up, I lost that competition. So when I trace back, bakit wala akong confidence when it comes to singing? And people would say, may tono ka naman, may boses ka naman, pero bakit hindi ka kumanta? I don't have the confidence to do it because if I trace back, there was actually something that happened when I was younger that stole that confidence because it was a trauma standing in front of people and yet not doing anything because you can sing. Inaantay mo yung gitarista mo. So whatever insecurity that you have, whatever things that you can't do because you're not confident in doing it, trace back why you can't actually do it. There must be a reason why. And if you have traced back, bakit hindi ko magawa, let's say na maglakad ng mag-isa? Bakit hindi ko kayang magsuot ng ganitong klaseng damit? Bakit hindi ko kayang magsalita in front of people? Why? There must be something that happened. And if you know the reason bakit hindi ka confident dun sa ginagawa mo, you can go back to that scenario and said, okay, noon nangyari to, pero hindi ko hahayaan na itong nangyari sa akin noon will still hold me not to do the things that I can do now. You can practice, you can hire mentors that can train you to do something. Training can help you when it comes to building your confidence. It's a process. It's not a one-time thing. But then you have to be consistent when it comes to practicing those things. Para when you do it, you have the confidence to actually do the things that you want to do.
Wow. Ang galing ng ating sharing this afternoon, no? I'm sure dun sa kay Mr. Rene, actually, ang nagtanong doon kasi mukhang meron siyang protege na magbo-beauty queen din na para pwede. Although, to be honest, Miss Venus, this is also applicable for both men and women,
Yeah.
diba?
Yeah.
Oo, yung kwento mo na sinasabi mo na natakot or nawalan ka ng ano dun sa stage. Ako lang, I would always remind myself every time I do this webinar, Grace, you're not doing it for anyone else but for the only one.
Yeah.
So if you know that you're doing it for that specific, the only one, it wouldn't matter kung ano na lang yung sasabihin nila. What matters most, yung the only one that we are considering. So last question natin, Miss Venus, kasi si Mr. Ayan, ayaw niyang magpabanggit ng name. Kung kapalik mo daw yung panahon na fourth place ka, kasi I think there was a problem dun lang sa question and answer, not because of the answer but because of the thought. Ano ba to? So what could have been your answer kung hindi ka kinabahan?
Yeah. So the question at that time was, what was the biggest mistake that you have done in your life, and what did you do? What did you do to make it right? So that was the question. And my 22-year-old self was like, you know what, sir? And then the major thing happened. I was like, I know that at that time, that question was so difficult to answer, to be honest. To be asked by a question about your mistake in front of people, I mean, I was not quick to think of an honest answer. But if I'm going to be given the chance today to actually answer that question again, I would probably say something like, I have done a lot of mistakes. And I am not proud to, tell you guys that these are the things that I have done before. But as a human person, I had done a lot of mistakes. I think one of the things that I would say the biggest mistake that I have done was to think that the things of this world can actually fill in the huge vacuum in my heart. Because that was my thought before. I think that if I'm going to have the things of this world, such as beauty, accolades, relationships, the vacuum in my heart would be filled. But I was wrong in thinking about that. So I have learned from my past, and I am already applying the learning that I have today in the present day that I am actually living. So maybe I would say something like that, or something to that extent, but I totally recognize that was a difficult moment for me, and the answer was totally like what are you saying? But yeah, I also learned from that experience way back in 2010.
Alam mo, Miss Venus, para sa aming mga Filipino, nung nanonood kami, because 10 years ago, I was just 42. So, you made us all proud. No? If there's anything that's worth saying now na sinabi mo nga, kung yung nagtanong, kung maibabalik mo lang, ako, I would honestly say, you made us all proud Filipinos. Kasi, dala-dala mo yung Philippine flag when you got your fourth place there dun sa taas na yon. But of course, hindi naman nare-rehearse yung mga questions na yan. So, may nagpahabol pa na tanong.
Uh-huh.
Kasi sabi nila, paano mo na-maintain yung pagiging healthy, pagkakaroon ng healthy body and mind during pandemic?
Yeah, I know that this is a struggle for most of us. To be honest, I also struggled in the beginning of the pandemic because I was thinking, madali lang to, matatapos din to. Siguro mga 40 days tapos na to. I was thinking, 40 is such a significant number in the Bible, so maybe this pandemic will end after 40 days. But then 41st day came, and 42nd and 43rd, and now we're still in it. In the beginning, I was in denial. I was in denial that this will be the new normal. Pero I think the first step to actually becoming healthy when it comes to physicality, when it comes to your mental health, when it comes to your spiritual health, is to admit that we are indeed in a pandemic. To realize that we are here at hindi ito matatapos basta-basta. So I started exercising, I started boxing, I started going to the gym, I started swimming in the small pool that we have in this condo. I can't run yet, so I just do the things that I can do here. I started checking on my friends, yung mga kaklase ko nung high school, nung elementary na hindi ko nakakausap pagkatagal-tagal na kung kailan nag-pandemic, tsaka kami nagkausap-usap. Tsaka kami nagkita-kita via Zoom. I would check up on my family. I think one of the principles that we should apply, or I already applied, is to remove the focus from yourself and actually focus on others. And when you focus on others, that's the time that you will become healthier, because you don't just sulk into your own problems. You see that there are also other people who are having a difficulty, especially now. There are people who lost their job. There are people who can't just, put a meal on the table for that day. So pag nakikita ko yun, parang shucks, ang hirap ng buhay. So there are many things to be thankful for. I think another thing that we can apply in our lives is to have the attitude of gratitude. When we are grateful of what we have, and the things that we are experiencing today, that can also make us feel healthier and also be healthier. So you exercise, you check up on people, you ask them how they are, you eat, wag kang nood ng Netflix buong araw at kumakain ka ng chichirya, wag ganon. That's not gonna do good on you. And definitely make sure that you also maintain a healthy mental health, because you can read books, you can actually read the Bible, you can watch nice documentaries, mga ganon, na hindi mo lang sasayangin yung oras mo. Para pag natapos yung 2020 at binalikan mo yung 2020 mo, hindi lang yung mga pangit na nangyari ang makikita mo. You can see the beauty that actually happened, the growth that you have, the books that you've read, the friends that you've checked up on, the family that you've actually provided for, yung mga ganon. So there's still that beauty in everything that is happening to us right now.
Sige, Miss Venus, ang daming laman ng sinabi ni Miss Venus. I hope yung mga nakikinig, you took note of that. In fact, si Miss Venus, hindi lang yan ang ginagawa niya. She is also currently a student of apologetics. Kwentuhan mo lang kami very shortly. Kaya ako nakaganito ngayon for everyone's information. I'm trying to show Miss Venus yung kanyang pupuntahan sa England. This is Oxford Library, and she's gonna be a student, and she's currently the student. Sige, Miss Venus, kwentuhan mo naman kami.
Yeah, I'm currently enrolled at the Oxford Center for Christian Apologetics. I'm taking a one-year program. It's called Christian Apologetics. So I have philosophy class, I have theology class, communication class. So ganon siya. It's actually a training program for 1 year. Pero because of the pandemic, we're not able to do the face-to-face classes. Kaya online kami for the first semester. And then the second and the third semester, I really hope to fly out to London and be able to study face-to-face. Iba pa rin kasi talaga, Miss Grace, yung feeling na magkausap kayo harapan, the relationship that is being built in that kind of setup is so different from, like this virtual. Although okay naman, pero I feel like, I'm more excited to go there and actually study face to face. So yeah, I hope to be able to use whatever the things that I'll be learning there in the ministry, in sharing the love of the Lord to people, and caring for people, and allowing them to realize that, there's still hope. There's still hope, despite of the things that are happening in our country today, in the world today. There is still hope, and I hope to be that vessel of hope for people as well.
Thank you, Miss Venus. There is hope. Yes, there is hope. In fact, I am sitting in one of the libraries of Oxford so that you can always look forward to traveling there. Inunahan na kita para ma-visualize mo dito sa aking virtual background. But as you said, no, it's different pa rin pag actual. So, Miss Venus, now that we have already exceeded an hour, before you finally close this episode, can you just call on your kababayans and even yung mga lahat ng mga Pilipino nating kasama rito at ikwento mo lang just a little of what really happened kaya ka aalis this coming Thursday for that.
Yeah. Ayun nga po, it's a heartbreaking reality that Bicol has been ravaged by the typhoon. Sanay ho kami, sa totoo lang. Sanay naman kami sa Bicol na binabagyo because I think a minimum of 20 typhoons visit us every year, but this time it's different. It's just so strong. Yung bahay ho namin may mga nasira din, but I'm just so grateful to the Lord that my family is safe, my mom is safe, everyone there is safe. Pero hindi natin makakaila na marami pa rin talagang taong nawalan ng pamilyang, nawalan ng bahay, nawalan ng kabuhayan. Some of them lost their loved ones, and that's just so heartbreaking. So I really hope to go there, share, through the efforts of an organization also. It's called Tulong Tayo. We'll be able to actually go there and share the blessings of the Lord to people, comfort people, and also share the word of God. And that's the reason why, I always look forward to an opportunity like this. Not that I am happy because of what happened to Bicol, but I look at the disaster that happened as an opportunity to minister. So that's the reason why I'm going. And thank you guys for helping. If you have the burden to also share your resources, to share your prayers with us, to pray for people in Bicol. If you have, people who can actually share their resources, we would love to help you, get that resources and bring that to Bicol and hopefully, be able to help families there. So yes, please pray for us because this is such a trying time for many Bicolanos and for every family that has been affected by the typhoon.
I'm sure dun sa mga nakikinig, no, they would want to also extend help dun sa mga kababayan mo, Vino, sa Bicol. Paano kanila maaabot o paano nila mapapaabot sa iyo kung sakali mang meron silang pagkakataon?
Yeah, you can contact me on my Instagram account. It's called Only Venus Ra. You can message me there. You can message Miss Grace. She would surely love to help as well. If you also know the organization called Christ Commission Fellowship, they have this program called Tulong Tayo, and all the help from people, iniipon namin yon, and then we repack the goods here in Manila, and then we transport them to Bicol. So whichever, you can message me, Miss Grace, or the organization. We would be so glad to accommodate your help.
Thank you, Venus. Thank you, Miss Venus. Thank you, Venus. It was such a wonderful afternoon to have heard from you. Mga revelations na hindi namin alam, not until today. So, para dun sa ating mga nanonood,
Chris C is watching us right now. Hi, Chris. Just want to say hi to you.
Again, what's the name daw? Yung sinabi mo?
Talaga papaulit mo pa, ha, Chris? Chris C. So I just want to say hi to you. Sabi kasi batiin daw siya eh.
Hi daw, Mr. Christopher C. Baka magtanong bakit daw nag-hi si Miss Venus. Miss Venus, thank you so much for your time. You know, we appreciate you. Alam namin that you're also very busy. Si Miss Venus is a student, as I've said earlier on. In fact, ang oras ng kanyang aral is at midnight kasi iba yung oras sa London, 'di ba? Tama, no? So,
Yeah.
she finishes early, very early in the morning. At dawn na siya natatapos. And yet, look at her now. She's very fresh and she even took the time to spend this episode with us. So maraming maraming salamat from our hearts to yours. We thank you. We appreciate you. This is such a delight. This is such a treat for everyone. Sana maulit muli. And sana sa susunod, we could have more time to spend para dun sa mga ibang topics naman, lalo na yung mga related and important ngayong panahon ng pandemic and lockdown. So, sa lahat ng mga nanonood sa atin ngayon, maraming maraming salamat po for your time from my home to yours. A blessed day po. Thank you.
Thank you very much. God bless you guys.